Look at this family of 4 riding on a bike. This sight is all too common in India. And if you come from a lower middle class family, this might bring back some fond memories from your childhood, because this is exactly how we went around the city. It was fun sitting on the fuel tank, holding onto the handlebars and pretending to drive the bike. We even went on long drives like this. But it wasn't until we grew up to about 12 years of age that it started to become a problem. You couldn't sit on the fuel tank because you were tall. It was uncomfortable, inconvenient, and also illegal. But we still did it because we didn't have a choice. We simply couldn't afford to bear the financial burden of buying and owning a car. So we pushed the idea of buying a car far into the future, when the times would be better and the economy would be more forgiving. This is the story of millions of middle-class families in this country, and not a solution in sight. But there was one man who wanted to change this, and that was late Ratan Tata. Welcome to White Medal. This is the story of Tata Nano. When Ratan Tata looked at families riding on a bike, he saw an opportunity. An opportunity to make lives better for millions of people in this country. An opportunity he thought no other car company was noticing. He wanted to make a car that could be a safer and more comfortable alternative to riding with your family on a bike. Something that is low cost and fuel efficient, so that more people could take that leap of faith and buy a car. He wanted to make what he liked to call the people's car. Tata had an impossible feat to accomplish in front of them. To make a car that costs exactly 1 lakh. Even in 2008, this wasn't easy. And here's how they did it. Nano became the first car in India to run on a 2-cylinder 624cc petrol engine. Only 3 lug nuts per wheel, drum brakes on front and rear, no power steering, no air conditioning, no rear view mirror on the passenger side, no power windows, and no airbags. It was stripped down of everything that was considered non-essential, to the point that it was so bare bones that it was barely even a car by 21st century standards. Eventually they did add a lot of these extra features, but that drove the price all the way up to more than 2 lakhs. And at that point, Nano was only a few 10,000 rupees cheaper than a Maruti Suzuki 800, which was a much better deal. And Maruti 800 had a much better reputation as a family car. Tata aimed to produce 250,000 units a year. After its launch in 2009, Nano sales peaked in financial year 2011-2012 to about 74,000, and after that it was a steep downhill. Until June 2018, when only one Nano rolled out of the assembly line. Having not produced a single unit in all of 2019 and BS6 norms on their way, which the Nano did not comply with, Tata's management realized they were beating a dead horse. So they decided to stop production of Nano and move on. It was certainly a difficult decision, especially for Ratan Tata, but there wasn't much they could do. But it begs the question, what exactly happened? What went wrong with the Nano? The failure of Nano is an interesting case study. It was not just one thing. First, there was the whole land acquisition controversy after Tata decided to build a new plant in Singur, West Bengal to manufacture the Nano. Following which they had to move their operations to Sanand, Gujarat. This first cost them a lot of money, and more than that, delayed the launch by a full year. Then once the car hit the streets, there were multiple incidents of Nano randomly catching fire. The news picked up this story, and it really did not help Tata's reputation.
आज पंजाब के अमृतसर में टाटा की एक नैनो कार में अचानक आग लग गई। सड़क पर नैनो कार धूं-धूं कर जलने लगी।
But more than anything, the failure of Nano was the failure of its marketing. Ratan Tata wanted to solve a problem for the people. He wanted people of this country to travel safely and comfortably, and he wanted this safety and comfort to be affordable. So right from the get-go, Nano was marketed as the 1 lakh car. A car that one could buy almost at the price of a premium bike. And that's all everyone was talking about. No matter how much Ratan Tata wanted this car to be called the people's car, it was always called the cheap car. But Ratan Tata made one big mistake. He thought the people would be as rational in their purchases as he was, and forgot to factor in one important thing: emotion. You see, the people were more than happy traveling like this, on a bike with a family of 4. It was definitely uncomfortable, inconvenient, and unsafe, but it wasn't a problem big enough to call for the purchase of a new car. And people in India, probably even today, do not see cars as a necessity. It is a luxury, one that is closely attached to social status. When we buy a car, we want to show it off to our friends and neighbors. It is aspirational. So who would want to buy the cheapest car in the market, no matter how practical it is? Nano might have been the car the people needed, but it most certainly was not the car the people wanted. It is now 2025, 6 years from when the last new Nano was sold, and a lot has changed in these 6 years. With cars like MG Comet doing good sales, it seems like mini cars or compact cars are making a comeback. And this is mostly because such cars are more suited for EV powertrains than IC engine powertrains. Mini cars offer a great solution for the impossible challenge that is city driving. With cars getting bigger, traffic more congested, and roads simply not keeping up, navigating a car in the city is becoming an absolute nightmare. Mini cars are easy to handle, go most places in the city, and provide almost the same comfort as any other car. In 2008, when Tata set out to make the people's car, there was no EV technology or infrastructure. So they had to settle for a 2-cylinder petrol engine, which, let's face it, it barely does its job. Going uphill with that powertrain was a literal uphill battle. But today's EV technology and infrastructure provides the perfect environment for a car like Nano to thrive. An EV powertrain is easy to fit inside the small body of a Nano, and because this car will probably spend most of its time within city limits, a smaller battery pack makes it cost effective. It doesn't need that big battery pack with over 500 kilometers of range. If Tata were to bring back the Nano with an EV powertrain, who knows, they might just get it right this time and finally fulfill the big man's vision. It is sad that one of Ratan Tata's biggest ambitions will also be remembered as one of his biggest mistakes. But who knows, maybe the Nano was the right car, but at the wrong time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.